Hi everyone, Jess here, and today I'm joined with Manuel van Esch from zeroG. Thank you so much for joining me today.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So zeroG, you describe yourself as the expert center of data-driven AI machine learning solutions for aviation. Let's start by talking a little bit about it. What do you guys do, and what sets you apart from others in the sector?
Yeah, happy to. So I always like to say that zeroG has been doing AI for a long time, way before it became a trend. So we've been around for 10 years right now. And what we aim to do is build human-centric data and AI solutions. So what we look at is what does a passenger or a crew member or an executive or a revenue manager actually need in terms of information and automation, and then make sure that we collect all of that data in a usable way, and then process that either through business intelligence or machine learning applications to serve their needs. Because ultimately, if people are happy, and then the organization is thriving as well. And we've been doing this on the cutting edge. So within the Lufthansa Group, zeroG is responsible for building cutting edge deep learning, machine learning, conversational AI, Gen AI, agentic AI, you name it, to really making sure that we're always leveraging the data that Lufthansa Group is collecting, each and every individual airline, but also organizations like Lufthansa Cargo and Lufthansa Technik, and really making sure that we're driving these innovations forward.
Fantastic. And you've touched on the sort of plethora of different AI that you guys are involved with. I think it's pretty well understood and uncontested that AI is going to have a really transformative effect on the industry. And it's got the potential to change almost every aspect. What would you say are the top 3 areas that you think are going to see the biggest change in the next 5 years or so?
It's always hard to predict the future, as you know. But what the biggest trends will be, I think, is hyper-personalization, holistic problem solving, as well as agentic AI automation in airline operations. So I think the generative AI push has already shown that you can make communications between you and your passenger way more personal, way more intimate, way more relevant, and sharing the right piece of information at the right time. Now also, not only through the right channel, but also with the right tone of voice. So it doesn't really sound generic if you're talking to an airline. And this will become more and more increasingly relevant. And in that regard, also really push the relevance of any airline brand. The other thing is that I think machine learning and deep deep neural networks will really enable airlines to not think classically like network planning, flight scheduling, crew management, and airline operations, but really take data from all of these value streams and then solve problems holistically. So really start using airline data from airline operations to make a more realistic flight plan or a more realistic network schedule ultimately. And finally, I think like everyone is talking about, from observability AI towards generative AI in the future, agentic AI. And I think that's really going to be the future as well, where a lot of decisions that are now being made by humans will be made by humans still, but humans in the loop. So ultimately, there will be an AI system making decisions where humans are still in control, but there will be a lot more automation that is complex and orchestrating complex decision making in airline operations. So very exciting times ahead for the aviation industry, I'd say.
Absolutely, it's all really exciting. And for you personally, of those 3 you mentioned, which excites you the most?
Oh, that's very hard. I get a little bit nerdy and a little bit excited about everything that we do at zeroG. So I can talk for ages about these kinds of stuff. But what I really enjoy is airline operations. Because it's so tangible, and this is what people think about when they think about air travel. And so really the transformation there moving forward, I think is really going to be an exciting element for me for sure.
And I'm glad you use that word tangible, because one of the things we're struggling with AI, I think, like we said, there's huge potential, but sometimes these tangible results aren't always clear yet.
Totally.
So we don't have all the data showing it. Do you have any statistics that can show some of the real benefits AI can be bringing to the industry?
Yeah, definitely. But maybe on what you said, it is such an intangible kind of software solution that not everyone seems to grasp. When we started building AI applications, we use computer vision to extract video streams to collect timestamps from an aircraft turnaround, as an example. And ramp agents used to say, oh, this is great, so I can give someone a call if something didn't happen. And then you have to always say, well, the future will be that this will problem solve itself. You don't have to give people calls anymore. That's the idea. So really putting a tangible, innovative solution and making it physical, that's really always the challenge. And it's also for us a way of working. So we want to make sure that the proof of concept is there as soon as possible, because only if you have a proof of concept that is tangible, you can move it forward. The danger is, though, that every huge AI project, I think like BCG or McKinsey did a research that 80% of AI projects die in POC purgatory. So not everything goes like into full production. And we've built up a methodology to make sure that we go from idea to proof of concept to pilot to scaled application as fast as possible. And where we see that, for example, is a revenue management solution that we've built. We didn't change anything, but we were able to use deep neural networks to predict customer demand for O&Ds 30% more accurately, leading to around about 3% more revenue. So the operational costs remained the same, but the profits, obviously, for this particular airline increased tremendously. And that's the beauty of AI. I think a lot of airlines, or a lot of organizations, not airlines alone, still approach AI as something futuristic. But the cool thing, and the reason why I work in AI, is because you make it measurable. So politics and PowerPoint is kind of like out of the way, and you just look at the impact that it has, and then you can drive it forward. And so you can always say, whatever project that we do, it has a 3 to 5% revenue uplift, or it has a 10% cost reduction. And that's the beauty of AI. And I really, really hope that airlines really start embracing that as well. So don't get hooked up on the newest technology. Look at the impact that it can have for your organization.
Absolutely, and I guess that can speak to future-proofing as well. If you're always chasing the latest technology rather than really baking it into your systems and planning for the long term.
Yeah, it's in the systems, and as I said, in the people as well. People have to embrace it and they have to love AI. And for that, thank God there was ChatGPT that made our lives a lot easier. Everyone all of a sudden knows what AI is and how it works. Sometimes it's way more complex than ChatGPT makes it look, but still, I think talking about making it tangible, that was definitely a big move forward.
Absolutely, that was the sort of biggest PR game for the
definitely,
industry.
for sure, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Manuel.
Thank you, Jessica, so much for your time.